question. So next, we would like to share with you the 2022 Community Scrapbook. As we've done for many years, we invited our partner organizations and action teams to send us some of their key accomplishments of the past year. Many of them responded, and we've compiled them into a community scrapbook that shows some of the progress that our community made in 2022 to advance environmental quality, social equity, and economic vitality. We'll be going quickly through the slides, so keep an eye out for accomplishments that impress or inspire you. I would like to introduce two members of the Coalition Steering Committee who will narrate the Community Scrapbook. Please welcome Andrea Norris, and after Andrea, Sean McGuire.
Seeds for the Soul provided upfront funding for weatherization and energy-efficient improvements for low and middle income homeowners and renters. They conducted home energy assessments, resulting in the installation of insulation, heat pump water heaters, and solar panels. Zero-interest loans were repaid with savings on energy bills and with no impact on the residents' monthly budget. G. Christensen Construction completed a single-family home in Corvallis with energy efficiency measures and green building practices, including concealed mini-split heat pumps, a heat pump water heater, and a ducted heat recovery ventilation system. They received the Sustainable Business of the Year Award from the Corvallis Chamber of Commerce. Benton County now has 5 facilities with solar arrays. They also applied for the newly renovated Calapooya building to achieve LEED Gold and Fitwel certifications. Abundant Solar installed solar on 53 homes and businesses. Sadly, James Reese-Miller, co-owner of Abundant Solar, passed away in 2022. He made a lasting impact on our community by installing solar on 850 buildings. But in his memory, Abundant Solar is still going strong. The city of Corvallis sponsored Open Streets, creating temporary walkable, bikeable city streets with community groups hosting activities along the route. The city also installed bicycle guide signs showing destinations, travel time, and mileage. City government emissions were 51% lower than in 1990, resulting from 4 on-site solar arrays and purchases of renewable electricity from Oregon Shines. They provided rebates to low-income individuals to purchase electric bicycles from local businesses. EnergyWise installed solar on Linus Pauling Middle School, Benton County's law enforcement building, group homes in Corvallis, and 3rd Street Commons. Block 15 provided Pack Tech from beer accounts and provided recycling drop-offs at their locations. The Corvallis Farmers Market increased the amount of affordable, fresh, local, and healthy food for those in need. The Corvallis School District updated all gymnasium lights to LED, reducing energy consumption and maintenance costs and improving lighting. 500 women scientists advocated for diversity in STEM through TAP Talks on science and society and hosted fundraisers to raise money for local marginalized groups. Corvallis Citizens Climate Lobby communicated with members of Congress and staff, sent letters to the editor, and provided outreach events. Corvallis Fall Festival featured artists, local entertainers, and unique local food trucks providing Benton County charities with revenue. And an equitable opportunity for families with young children to participate in accessible, free, age-appropriate entertainment. First Alternative Co-op purchased an electric vehicle to meet their operational needs between the co-op's north and south stores. They added a compostable bag option for customers and installed a dedicated outdoor air system, providing conditioned ventilation, improving indoor air quality and occupant health, while reducing greenhouse gas emissions and saving energy. GoMates, a new Corvallis startup, launched a free online service to organize carpools to help families, teams, and clubs share rides and drive less. Kate Hickok Media Productions produced and directed Now is the Time, stories and testimonials by patients and doctors to make the case for health care for all in Oregon. The Mid-Valley Bicycle Club invested in bikes and supplies for the Corvallis Bike Education Program, preparing students to use sustainable transportation in their daily lives. Spring Creek Project introduced the monthly Inner Nature podcast series, connecting contemplative practice with environmental action. The theme of the Environmental Writing Fellowship and Residency was Oregon's Climate Forests. And they hosted Lookout, Envisioning Futures with Wildfire, exploring our new era of mega wildfires from ecological and community perspectives. The Arts Center hosted local artists in the annual Howland Community Open exhibit. Their 5th annual Arts Alive celebration party featured live music, poetry readings, and arts workshops. The Time Garden sanitized and reused over 6,000 nursery pots. They hand-weeded raised display beds and the certified organic hop field to avoid using chemicals, and provided tours of their gardens and stream project to inspire our community about the benefits of gardening and tending to the environment. Veterans for Peace hosted the annual Hiroshima-Nagasaki commemoration event to show the cost of war to humans and the environment by welcoming peace boats traveling under the Van Buren Bridge. The Grace Center was named the top adult day service in the nation by the National Adult Day Service Association. The Corvallis Daytime Drop-In Center supported community members through repeated contacts. They used reusable plates and cups for food and beverages and distributed donated items to clients. Vina Moses Center volunteer team processed tons of community donations and transformed their donation room into a functional space for their volunteers. They help people be ready for work by giving them specialized clothes and shoes needed for their first day on the job. Dev Northwest provided residents rental and utility assistance, meal delivery, community gardens, and on-site dental screenings and vaccination clinics. They also installed 2 little free libraries near affordable rental properties, creating access to reading materials, community garden produce, and monthly newsletters. Stone Soup celebrated Thanksgiving dinner at St. Mary's Church, serving diners good food, gracious servers, and live music. Additional off-site meals were served. Willamette Grange volunteers improved the Grange's functional sustainability by completing critical upgrades. They improved their community sustainability through increased public outreach, public Grange events, and private uses, and connected youth and adults with local foods and conservation projects. The Mary's Peak Alliance led hundreds of students, teachers, and parents on Mary's Peak field trips to experience Mary's Peak's geological, ecological, and cultural features. They helped complete the first draft of an extensive Mary's Peak interpretive plan for future generations of public visitors, and helped plan and initiate reviving a historic meadow along Mary's Peak Road while creating historic views of both the Willamette Valley and the Oregon Coast Range. Coil Outside donated a $25,000 grant to Corvallis Parks and Recreation to subsidize local underserved youth and outdoor youth programming. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Sean.
Thank you, Andrea, and good evening. The Corvallis Waldorf School agricultural program increased native food sources on campus by planting blue elderberry trees, salal, and a cabbage patch. They cultivated new dry frame beds of Three Sisters crops, pumpkins, and broomcorn, and held workshops in Kalapuya basketry and traditional ecological knowledge of plants taught by an enrolled member of the Confederated Tribes of the Grand Ronde. The Mary's Peak group of the Sierra Club produced a webinar series to show how we can live with and benefit from local beavers. They also produced the 6th annual Chipindafu series focusing on Kalapuya placekeeping. The Corvallis Environmental Center Sage Garden doubled their volunteer hours from 2021, resulting in tons of food produced for people in need. They also expanded their farm to school programs to the Albany School District, reaching hundreds of additional students. Marys River Watershed Council added aquatic log habitat and water quality measures along Woods Creek. Volunteers helped plant native shrubs and forbs in the newly regenerated Starker Arts Park wetland along Denali Creek. They led high school students on a Marys River field trip to study aquatic health and ecological functions. 10 Rivers Food Web hosted its soil amendment sale, serving farmers and gardeners who received tons of wholesale, high-quality soil amendments. The Trout Unlimited Bluebacks conducted winter and spring volunteer surveys for steelhead reds in local river sections being restored as a spawning habitat. They held a debris removal river cleanup to make life just a little easier for steelhead and other native fish. Greenbelt Land Trust protected prime wild habitat in the Soap Creek Valley through a conservation easement with landowners, establishing a permanently protected conservation area. They launched the Heart of the Valley campaign to purchase Oak Creek Preserve for habitat and trail connections, and aiming to double the number of acres they protect in the Willamette Valley. They also completed oak restoration and forestry in Mulkey Forest at Bald Hill Farm, resulting in a more fire-resilient, diverse, and healthy forest. Benton Soil and Water Conservation District completed a 5-year Muddy Creek restoration project, and district representatives provided water quality testing to analyze the results. They led local students on salmon watch field trips along the Alsea River, observing salmon spawning, learning river ecology, and conducting water quality testing. The Audubon Society of Corvallis installed Spanish language signs at Estevan Nature Center to highlight sustainability issues. They sponsored a student workshop about Calipuya life, a junior birding program, and bird trail days at Estevan Nature Center, and public second Saturday bird walks. The First United Methodist Church commissioned backup batteries for their solar array, providing electricity during an emergency and ensuring the women in the room at the inn will be safe and secure. Oregon Clean Power Co-op and OSU pioneered Solar Harvest, a community solar project for research that combines farming and solar panels. Their solar project at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival won 2 national awards from the U.S. Department of Energy. And their newly installed project at OSU is the largest rooftop solar system in Corvallis. Oregon State University was recognized as a top performer in the 2022 Sustainable Campus Index with a 100% data accuracy rate. OSU also ranked high in waste reduction. OSU's path to carbon neutrality was approved. Its goal is to reduce and ultimately eliminate carbon emissions from OSU's operations. The Sustainability Office produced a new video highlighting their solar trailers features and promoting its availability for university and non-university events. OSU Campus Recycling and University Housing and Dining Services launched the country's first pilot project to charge for single-use cups at a state university, with a goal to reduce disposables. And they tackled home football games recycling by sorting through recycled containers at football games, resulting in significant funds to further sustainable activities at athletic events. The Great Move Out event collected and redistributed donated clothing, linens, food, toiletries, school supplies, and housewares to local charities and nonprofits. OSU Community Engagement and Leadership supported students to completed community service hours for food security, housing security, animal welfare, environmental conservation, health, and other local causes. Students also participated in workshops and summits. University Housing and Dining Services' Eco-to-Go program provided and maintained reusable takeout containers. The program has kept 1 million disposable food containers from being sent to the landfill. Flicker and Fur's Southtown Farm Stand Market offered weekly opportunities for access to local food, nature-based crafts, and outdoor family activities. South Corvallians made new community connections, including with local nonprofits and vendors. The Food Action Team sustained and expanded It's On Us Corvallis, supporting local restaurants and food producers while also feeding people in need of a meal. The program infused more than $51,000 into our local economy. The team distributed more than 500 copies of the annual Garden Resource Guide and resumed their popular edible garden tour. The Community Inclusion and Natural Areas Action Teams initiated a new project called Neighborhood Roots, increasing shade equity by planting native trees in neighborhoods that needed additional trees. The Economic Vitality Action Team initiated Third Thursdays events to foster a thriving local arts and entertainment hub in downtown Corvallis. The Waste Prevention Action Team launched Benton to Go, a reusable takeout container program for Benton County with 9 charter local eateries that participate. The No Food Left Behind program connected with thousands of Corvallians through tabling at the farmers market, blogging kitchen confessions, providing video instruction, and presenting at community events and online. Recycling Block Captains distributed instructional handouts to thousands of doorsteps and online. The Transportation Action Team resumed their bike valet service using bicycle transport by volunteers to haul bike racks to and from September Fest, Open Streets Corvallis, Fall Festival, Funk in the Forest, and the Sage Concert Series. They organized 2 electric vehicle shows, bringing together electric cars, e-bikes, EV owners, and attendees. The Water Action Team added 1,000 native plants, disabled additional underground field drainage, and received the permits to install a large culvert that will allow the Denali Creek headwaters to once again flow freely for the first time in over 100 years. At Starker Arts Park, they added hundreds of native plants and woody habitat and observed new native species inhabiting the new wetland. The team released a 9-minute online video showing how a human-made dam on Oak Creek created ecological and hydrological problems while new beaver dams improved those functions. And remember, David always reminds us there are no meetings in the Water Action Team. And finally, the Energy Action Team sponsored home retrofit clinics, guiding homeowners on the path to greater energy efficiency and use of renewable energy. The Solarize Corvallis initiative gathered community donations to help fund solar projects at 3rd Street Commons. And at Linus Pauling Middle School, using community investors, they also raised funds from the individual community investors for upcoming solar projects at Shelton and Franklin schools. We know that's just a small sample of what our community is doing to advance sustainability, but we think you'll agree that there's a lot of great work happening here in Corvallis and in Benton County. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sean and Andrea. Appreciate that. And special thanks to all of our partner organizations and action teams that took the time to share your accomplishments with us. That was really fun to see all the progress that's being made in our community, and that's just a small sample of what's happening here. All right, so now it is your turn to respond to the following question. What did you see or hear about in this presentation that motivates you to take an action or actions that you haven't taken before? Was there an accomplishment that impressed you? If so, how might you be involved with that project or a similar project? Is there a group that's doing something that you'd like to get involved with? If you're already active in an organization, is there a new project or activity that you might want to initiate with that organization? So your table or breakout room will have 10 minutes to discuss that question. Go ahead and get started.